Hello and welcome to this new interview about resilience and especially resilience following COVID-19. The aim of these interviews is to inspire and to come back or bounce back during this anxious period thanks to our own strengths. Today I'm pleased to welcome Concetta Spitaleri, an Italian businesswoman living in Brussels. She's founder and CEO of Rosa Piu, long-lasting floral art. She's also the founder and president of an NPO called Willow Thrive, which gathers entrepreneurs from different backgrounds to promote diversity and encourage resilience. And Concetta is also senator for Belgium for WBAF, World Business Angel Investment Forum. First of all, how are you, Concetta?
Hello, Alexandre. I'm well, but pretty busy. Pretty busy because well, we have to keep on going with the business, of course, as much as you can. It's more difficult than before because it has been reduced. On one hand, if we speak about my Rosa Piu business, of course, it's more difficult than it was before the pandemic. But customers are still there, which means that over the years and over the time, I've been able to build trust, which is very important today, much more than just the commercial side. So they come back to me, they keep on calling me for my services. But on top of everything, of course, because of the financial crisis, they are more demanding. They are very careful about, of course, the financial expenditure. So it's more complicated, but I'm happy that I'm still on the boat. And that I can continue. So yeah, pretty busy coping with everything.
Yeah. Okay. Concerning if we do come back a step back, how did you feel during this pandemic, starting the beginning and now?
Yeah, because it's not over yet.
Yeah.
Well, I had really first thought was when we were locked down. I think just like many of us, the fact that you really you put everything on hold. You don't know whether you're going to be back on the scene, whether everything is over. So for a couple of weeks, it was really very, very hard. I had also I thought about maybe having lost everything I've been building over the last 10 years. And then once of course, then taking care of the administration because of course you have to take care about this. But the first when this shock, because it was really a shock, was decanting, what I thought is with all the set of competencies and expertise that life has given to me or has forced me to develop, because even when it's tough, you learn. That's my perspective. What can I do? How can I help? So let's say the economical part of my life was really on hold, like everyone, by the way. So that was the good thing. So I really focused on on more essential things. I thought it was time, as I had a little bit more time, which I never had. First of all, an exceptional time with my family, with my children, because one lives abroad, and of course the other one is here, but it's a university. So of course, you don't really, and I work really like a crazy woman. So really an exceptional moment to spend with my children, both of them, which I don't know where this is going to get back. So I was very, very conscious of the fact that it was really a privilege for me to spend some qualitative time with my children. And then I really started to think how to give back to community. That was really important for me. For people who know me that helping or being able to share what I've learned over all these years, this exceptional professional parcours and path which I have. It's exceptional also in order to give some of your experience to other people. I thought it was important to share, to inspire, and somehow also to give hope. So that was really my first the shock, and second, how can I give back to the community? So focusing on really very important things.
Yeah. So as you explained, there are good moments also with your children. That was really, really important and really good. And I can imagine also that must have been difficult moments and really hard. What kind of bad moments, hard moments, tough moments did you live during the lockdown, especially?
Apart from the economical one, which was challenging, I think that like for everyone, and then maybe we get also to why I have been thinking that resilience is super important.
Yeah.
The toughest one was not to be able to foresee, not to be able to plan what's to come. When you have a family, when you have a business, when you have, you really need to, so this unknown, the fact that you just cannot plan anything when no one could. So the only thing that was for me the toughest, there is not an easiest one, but there was one where I felt I was pushed to share, and so I started to follow some Zooms, to give conferences, to follow conferences, which I never had time to do, by the way, on things which were more important for me. And this is where I developed this respect and this focus, which is important for me for the resilience.
Okay. To come back to, yes. Okay. To come back on this specific point, which strengths are needed to cope, to become more resilient?
Yeah, I think this is the most important, Alexandre. I really think that that today, either on your, if we take your professional life, you really need to ask yourself really the right questions. Is your business going to survive? Can your business be digitalized? Because that's the future. If the reply is yes, it can be digitalized, maybe there is very little chance for you to fail. If your business cannot be digitalized, then you really need to be extremely innovative. You need to be creative, you need to be flexible, you really need to be able to reinvent the machine. Because if you take a business like mine, those are the Rosa Piu, the flowers, there is a lot of, first of all, my talent is my artistic talent. The fact that when I meet customers, I have a very personalized approach, very tailor-made. It's not like, the decos that you do, you choose one decos and they are made in 100 pieces and then you ship to everyone the same. When my customers, number one, are hotels, of course, 4 and 5 stars hotels. So you cannot deliver to one hotel and then to the other hotel the same arrangements. So that part, of course, is very difficult to be digitalized.
Yeah.
So I thought it was an opportunity for me maybe to open to a B2C market, which I started, of course, to explore. What is important for me is really that you need to be able to start from a new page, to really ask yourself those questions. Can I be digitalized? If not, can I survive? If I cannot survive, you really need to be able to start from scratch, because there are many possibilities in terms of work that have developed during the COVID. And then if you cannot continue with your own business because those criteria cannot be met, you can definitely be very useful in many other jobs and needs which have arisen with the COVID, with the pandemic.
Okay. And you have a foundation, an NPO, which is called Willow Thrive. Can you explain why Willow Thrive?
Yes. So when I started to think about what I wanted to give back to community and how I could help others, I started to think, about, well, maybe I can create a NPO in ASBL. And then I said, well, I need to name it. And what I wanted is, number one, a link with the nature, because as you know, it's my passion. And then a link with this, with my life, the fact that I've gone through so many things, so many different lives, moving from very important functions in large multinationals for many, many years to being my own boss. So being from having, a salary, a wage at the end of the month, and then even working very hard to, having to work to in order to get some money, or even not getting any money because you have built your own company. So there was really a big change, and I wanted really to share this. So I said, okay, what can represent a little bit what I am? And I thought about willow, because willow is a tree, and it's the only one. Is of course is one of the mythical trees, and is the only tree that never breaks when there is bad weathers, when there are very difficulties. It bends, is flexible, he adapts, and it doesn't break. So for me, that was really a very nice symbol for resilience, for the capacity of keep on surviving and staying on the boat and not breaking. So it was really in line with what I wanted to do. Okay. That's the name. That's why I created Willow. So Willow is an NPO which I founded. I co-founded with other really very important women. I can name already 2 of them, but there are going to be many others. One is the CEO of the diplomatic world, Mrs. Dietrich, and the other one is the executive advisor to the royal family of the United Arab Emirates, with Mrs. Arshi Ayub Mohammed Zaveri, and she's also the executive director of many other companies in the Gulf countries. So those are really, let's say, the people who really followed me with this idea straight away. We basically choose very concrete projects which are in line of promoting diversity and really pushing for resilience with women who are like us, like-minded, because what is very important for me, Alexandre, is that you can work with very different people. When we really want to build something together and join forces, there is one thing which for me you must have the same, is the values. You can come from different backgrounds, but if you don't share the same values, even in order to do goodwill, it's going to be difficult, because of course, if you don't share the same values, it's not going to be viable. Right, so we really gather all together, men and women, by the way, of course, women and men also from different backgrounds, and we try really to focus on a very specific project or subject, and we try to promote diversity, encourage resilience, as I told, with this capacity, of course, to teach to people that today what is important is to stay on the scene.
Oh, okay. And how do you encourage this resilience?
Exactly. By sharing your experience, by telling people really what you've gone through. And the more you share, the less, the more you share, the less you think alone, because sometimes you say, wow, why I've gone through all this? Why it has been so, life has been so harsh on me. No, life has not been so harsh. Life has given us many opportunities, and we take this either as a failure or as an opportunity. It's really completely up to us. If you take this pandemic, for me, well, apart from, of course, it's hard for everyone, it's an opportunity to really see where you stand in your life. So you learn resilience by telling people that they are not the only one on that case. You share experience. When you share your experience, they share yours, and you keep on giving hope. For me, what is most important is if you give hope, and there is hope, then people know that they can join forces, share, and then, of course, make of this world a better one to live. Because when you share and you join forces, and other people follow you in other initiatives like mine, I already have many people and many fantastic people who have really shown very concrete support to help me. This is already, you see, a very concrete example of how resilience is important. Is this capacity really to adapt, to be flexible, to innovate, to create, and to reinvent, and to stay on the boat.
So to be flexible, to reinvent, so as you explained before, it's really important. And you said also giving hope. So concerning you, what is your vision for the future in short term and also long term?
I think that long term cannot be possible these days. Even I'm, as I told you, I'm part of the World Business Angels Forum. And when we meet, or when we gather at the Zoom meetings, nobody's is speaking, of course, even in terms of startup, helping startups of really a 5-year planning, or because today, I mean, just making a planning, it's already a challenge. So long-term vision, I don't know if we can really have a very clear plan there, but what at least for me, what I know is the capacity to really keep on inspiring people, to really to encourage them to come on board, to feel that they are not alone, and that they really have hope not to disappear. If you take countries where peace, for instance, is disrupted all the time, well, there are really issues there. So even if for us it's difficult, I think that we still are lucky enough not to be able to work, even if it's complicated, to be able to share, to have this fantastic interview is still possible. But there are really countries and people where this is really very, very difficult. So for me, giving hope is definitely my vision for the future, for the possible future. Yes.
Okay. And finally, would you like to share a quote or a piece of advice or anything else?
I think that what is important is that people are not afraid of sharing even their fears, their failures. And when they start it again, they will see how much they're not the only ones. And just to, I'm sure that everybody has strengths. Every one of us has strengths, and others can help others. So yeah, my message for the people is really to not to be afraid to share. Really, definitely not to be afraid of sharing their experiences or asking for help. Yeah, to have the voice heard. Definitely, yes.
Okay. So really, thanks a lot, Concetta, for this interview and to share, as you said, your energy, your experience. It's really important, I think, for everyone. And thanks also everyone to follow this video, and see you soon for a new interview about a bounce back following COVID-19. Bye bye. Thank you, Concetta. Bye bye.